I'm Camila Hawkins, 28 years old. I married my colleague 2 years ago. My husband, Daniel, is 2 years older than me, and he confessed his feelings first. I couldn't get pregnant for a while after getting married, but I finally got pregnant. I'm expecting to give birth by the end of the year. Now that my morning sickness has settled, and I'm in the stable phase of pregnancy, I'm starting to prepare for the baby's arrival. I lost my parents early, so I've been really supported by my in-laws. They are eagerly awaiting the birth of their first grandchild. They live in a rural area, so we don't get to see them often, but they always say, "You must take good care of yourself. Make sure to eat well so you can have a healthy baby, and send us fresh vegetables and fruits they've grown." Thanks to this, I've gained a bit of weight recently, maybe because I've been eating too many fresh vegetables and fruits. I have an older sister. Her name is Sophia Baker, and she is 32 years old. She's married and has an adorable daughter, 3-year-old Maya. Her husband, David, dotes on Maya and often jokes, "I won't let her marry," or if anyone asks for her hand, "I'll chase them off." Sophia just laughs and says, "Don't be silly." They are a lively family. Since I got pregnant, Sophia has been giving me advice and being a great mentor. If you have any questions, just ask me, okay? Having her experience to draw on is really helpful. She also has some baby items she no longer needs, which will help us save money. When I go to the gynecologist, Sophia often accompanies me. My doctor is Dr. Rodriguez, a veteran. She is a trustworthy person. Once, we had a session with Daniel included. The priority should always be the pregnant woman. Is that so? Daniel, looking a bit anxious, nodded in understanding. Of course. You don't have to do all the household chores, but you shouldn't let the pregnant woman lift heavy things or reach for high items. Let her exercise moderately but don't overburden her. I see. Daniel nodded, listening to the doctor's explanation. Don't worry, I can cook and shop. So, it would be a great help if you could assist with cleaning and laundry. I directly asked Daniel. He agreed, saying, "Sure, that's not much different from now. I can handle the shopping, especially the heavy items like beverages." With a smile. I felt really happy that he was so proactive. I quit my job when we got married, and now I work part-time at a local supermarket, doing cashier work and restocking shelves. I work 3 days a week for 3 to 4 hours, which isn't too hard on me. There are many women at my workplace who have had children, so they're understanding and often offer advice. Recently, Daniel's job has gotten busier. I know what he does since we used to work at the same company. He's in an office job, so outside of the busy financial reporting season, he shouldn't have much overtime. He told me they've started a new department, and I've been put in charge of a team of younger staff. He added, "I need to work hard now that I'm going to be a father, but I worry about him overdoing it. Don't push yourself too hard." He reassures me, saying, "Don't worry, I'm taking breaks when I need to." One day, I got a call from my cousin. "Hey Camila, I need some advice." It was my cousin, Lou Cohen's. He is 2 years younger than me and just got married last year. His wife is Alice. They've been in a relationship since high school. Recently, they found out she's pregnant, and Luke often comes to me for advice as I'm a bit more experienced. So, what did you want to ask? Well, Alice is having terrible morning sickness, and it's heartbreaking to see her like that. She can't stand the smell of food and hardly eats anything. What should I do? You silly. If she can't eat bread, let her eat cake, right? You sound like Marie Antoinette. Anyway, seriously, what did you do when you were pregnant? I just gave up on the foods that smelled bad to me and ate what I could eat. Also, I made sure to stay hydrated. Oh, and chewing mint gum or candy helped ease the nausea. Got it, thanks. You always know what to say. I'll call you again if anything comes up. Sophia is my senior in motherhood, but Luke is definitely my junior. We live close to each other, and since he's self-employed, it's easier for him to find time. We've had many chances to meet even before he got married. Meanwhile, Daniel's attitude started changing as he began working more on weekends, saying he needed to organize paperwork collected during the week. We were spending less time together, and I could feel him growing distant. One night, I complained about his frequent weekend work. "Can't you manage your work a bit better?" You said you'd help around the house, but I'm doing everything. My belly was already big, and even cutting my nails became a struggle. But he just brushed off my requests and demanded more support, saying work is critical for me right now. You could be more supportive, couldn't you? I understand, but I'm having a hard time too. Look at my belly. I'm working hard for our child too. Don't just push your needs onto me. Besides what? I heard you've been seeing another man outside. What? A man? Oh, you mean my cousin Luke. He helps me with shopping when you're not around. Cousin? Really? You've been meeting him for quite some time, haven't you? He's part of my family, so of course, we meet. Anyway, please bear with me for a little while longer. Things remained a bit tense as the due date approached. Then, labor started, and I headed to the hospital with Sophia. Dr. Rodriguez said, "You're ready to go to the delivery room. After the birth, you'll be admitted for postnatal care." Daniel couldn't be there for the birth or help with the hospital preparations due to work, so Sophia took care of everything. 5 hours after arriving at the hospital, I gave birth to a boy. Despite the excruciating pain, the midwife said it was an easy delivery. Seeing my baby's cute face made me think it was all worth it. Daniel visited the hospital that night. Dr. Rodriguez cheerfully said, "Praise your wife for her hard work. Hold your baby too." I was exhausted on the bed, but eager to see Daniel's happy face. But he had no smile, and remained silent even after seeing the baby. Then he muttered, "Is he really my child?" What are you saying? That's your first reaction?" I was dumbfounded. Dr. Rodriguez assured, "You'll find him adorable after a while." I gathered myself and followed Dr. Rodriguez, saying, "This is our child. Let's work together to raise him." Despite my words, Daniel remained expressionless. Then, he suddenly said, "Doctor, I have a request. Please conduct a DNA test for this child." What? I was speechless at his words. A DNA test? He really doubts if this is his child. This is absurd. Dr. Rodriguez was taken aback. "Well, it's possible, but these aren't words you should say on the day of the birth." She tried to dissuade him. However, Daniel insisted, "Please, I need it." Daniel insisted on the test despite everything. "You doubt me? That's terrible." I was truly hurt. The pain from childbirth seemed insignificant. I shouted out loud, "I just want to know the truth. If it's confirmed that he's really my son, then that's all that matters. I'll feel relieved. Or, is there some reason you're worried about a test?" Was he implying I had something to hide? This was awful. I don't expect gratitude, but demanding a DNA test right away is the lowest of the low. Sensing the argument could escalate, Dr. Rodriguez sighed and agreed, "All right, we'll do the test." Though I was unhappy, I knew the child was Daniel's, so I decided to face this head-on. After Daniel left the room, tears rolled down my cheeks. I had thought he would be happy. But instead, he doubted me to the point of demanding a DNA test. Later, as Daniel wished, we did the DNA test and arranged to receive the results on the weekend when he visited. On the day of the report, Daniel arrived at the hospital, unusually calm. Dr. Rodriguez pulled out the report. "I'll get straight to the point." "Okay." The result of the test shows that the probability of Daniel being the father of the boy is... Dr. Rodriguez paused before revealing, 0%. This child is not Daniel's biological son. What? I was in shock, about to collapse. But how could this be? I couldn't think of anything that would explain it. I had no idea why. My mind went blank. Daniel smirked and said triumphantly, just as I thought. "So you tried to pass off a child from an affair as mine." Pointing at me, he declared, "We're getting divorced. All the responsibility is yours. Prepare for a hefty alimony demand." He left the room, leaving me in utter disbelief. I was just left utterly stunned. I consulted with Sophia and Luke. Sophia listened quietly and then said fiercely, "This is a false accusation. We need to set things straight." Luke, oddly smirking, reassured, "Don't worry, everything's perfect on my end." Sophia angrily responded, "This is no time for jokes." That's right," Luke said, looking amused. I couldn't tell if they were serious or enjoying my misfortune. Later, Daniel called. "I've decided to divorce." My parents agreed. As the victim, I'll demand alimony. Maybe $30,000. I'm thinking of leaving it to a lawyer. Is that okay? Daniel added, yeah, fine. You pay the birth costs yourself. I won't spend a dime on someone else's child. I retorted, do whatever you want. Fine, I will. I'm a stranger now. If you can't pay the alimony, I'll take the house and land. It's my right as the victim. Daniel remained defiant. That house and land were inherited from my deceased parents. I don't care. Anyway, I'm busy preparing for the divorce. I'll contact you later. I reported this to Sophia and then decided to move on to the next plan. Soon, I was discharged from the hospital, and Luke came to pick me up in his car. How are you feeling? Tired? Yeah, I'm feeling much better now. But I need to stay strong for this little one. I looked down at my baby wrapped in a blanket. That's right, I've got everything set up. We'll make Daniel pay back double or even triple for what he's done. While having this conversation, we arrived at my house. My house looked completely different. Daniel had moved out all his belongings, leaving the room empty except for the baby items I had prepared. There was a note from him. I'm leaving the house and won't be coming back. Don't bother looking for me at my parents' house. I'll only contact you when necessary. If he wasn't returning home, I knew where he might have gone. He's always quick to take care of such things. I sighed in exasperation. Shortly after, Daniel called. His timing couldn't have been better. As soon as I picked up, he shouted, "What were you thinking, sending that to my work?" "Oh, since you didn't tell me where you were, I had no choice but to send it to your office." I replied nonchalantly. "What have you done?" I had to explain everything to my boss, and now everyone at work is looking at me weirdly because of it. It went well as I planned. It's none of my concern. So, you saw the contents, right? Make sure you come to the lawyer's office. Don't even think about running away. Who's running away? You better be prepared. I'm going to fight this to the end. It appeared that the legal notice prepared by my lawyer had reached his office. I could imagine him panicking. The plan to corner Daniel was steadily coming together. Then, we had a meeting at the lawyer's office about the divorce. Daniel's parents were there too. Sophia and her husband accompanied me. Sophia's husband is David. David, who works in construction, always treated me like his own sister. The meeting began. My wife cheated and had a child, trying to raise it with my money, pretending it was mine. It's extremely malicious, so I'm demanding not just alimony but also the house and land in her name as compensation. This was Daniel's main argument and condition for divorce. He was very confident, wasn't he? But I was prepared for anything. My lawyer explained, "I understand your points. However, in a divorce due to infidelity, there's still a division of property. And don't expect all your demands to be met. If there's a disagreement, it's my job to mediate based on the facts. Please understand that." Daniel retorted, "Then justice is on my side. Having a child with someone else and trying to pass it off as mine is practically fraud. Maybe I should call the police." His parents joined in. "Camila, this is terrible. We were happy about our first grandchild, but to learn it's not Daniel's. It's sad. The most pitiable is the child born into this. Please atone for your sins and make sure to raise the child well. No matter what the lawyer says, what you did is unforgivable. I'm completely innocent and the victim here. It all depends on how much Camila reflects and apologizes to me." "Well, do you have any remorse or intention to apologize?" Daniel was utterly convinced of his victory. "Now, it's the perfect time." "No. The one who needs to reflect and apologize is you, Daniel." "What?" Daniel stood up, taken aback by my unexpected counterattack. I continued calmly. "Give it up. I know everything." "What are you talking about? I know who your affair partner is. I'll demand compensation from him too." I decided to fight back. "Actually, I've invited someone here." "Who?" "One of your accomplices." Daniel was in full combat mode. I teasingly replied, "Are you stupid? I'm the victim here, so it's a witness." "A witness? Thank you for waiting. Please come in," I said, and two people entered the room. Daniel's mouth hung open in shock. You are, and you. Yes, Dr. Rodriguez from the maternity clinic, and my cousin, Luke. Hello, greeted the doctor. Luke introduced himself. Hi, I'm Luke Owens, Camilla's cousin. You're Camilla's affair partner. Did you have a baby with your cousin? Don't say such disrespectful things. I live nearby, and my wife Alice is pregnant, so I was just seeking advice from Camilla. I've never seen her as anything but a close friend. She is not attractive as a woman. Hey, is that a bit rude, huh? Luke. I'll have to scold him later. I think it's time for me to speak. Dr. Rodriguez interjected with a wry smile. Sorry, doctor, please go ahead. I urged for an explanation. Thank you. Let me put it simply. The baby is undeniably the child of both Daniel and Camilla, according to the DNA test. What? Daniel was shocked and shouted out loud. But the test said the child wasn't mine. You bribed a technician to falsify the test results. My husband, the hospital's chairman, confronted him, and he confessed everything while crying. We recorded that confession. I felt like even I would confess if confronted by that husband. Damn it. Daniel bit his lip. Camilla's sister brought a strand of your hair and requested a retest. Normally we wouldn't do this, but after hearing her story, we agreed. The second test confirmed the baby is yours, and we've fired the technician who helped you. He compromised our hospital's integrity. My Phil was taken aback. Daniel, why did you do such a thing? He stood up, confronting him. That is. Sophia answered on behalf of speechless Daniel. That was because the cheater was Daniel. What? Daniel's parents were left speechless after their initial shock. The one who was cheating was Daniel. We saw him with another woman in downtown on a Saturday. Camilla said he was working that day, so it seems suspicious. We asked Luke to investigate. Luke, clearly proud, said, "Yeah, I used to work part-time at a detective agency during college, so I'm good at this sort of investigation." We found plenty of evidence of his infidelity. Here's the recording of their conversation. With that, Sophia played the recording on an IC recorder. Daniel and a woman's voice could be heard. We'll do a DNA test and make it look like the child belongs to someone else. That way, it'll seem like proof of an affair. I've got the perfect person in mind, looks like her cousin. I've got pictures, and I'll accuse her of cheating. Then, I can blame everything on her and get a divorce. I'll get alimony, and since she had a child with another man, I can take the house and land too. I'll be seen as the tragic hero. There's no problem with us being together then. I'm a genius, right? You're more like a villain than a genius. Their laughter followed after this conversation. Sophia stopped the recorder, and Luke added, "The woman is Leah Turner, your colleague, working in the same team." Daniel's face turned pale. With such conclusive evidence presented, he had no room for excuses. "Now that the truth is out, it's my turn," said the lawyer with a smirk. He took out various documents from an envelope and explained, "Here are Camilla's demands. First, she requests a divorce from Daniel. As for the DNA test forgery, she won't pursue it, so we won't deal with it here. She will demand compensation from Daniel and the other woman. Additionally, Daniel will be asked for property division and child support." Daniel's parents were dumbfounded by the unexpected turn of events. Daniel, pressed hard by Camilla and Sophia, was completely crushed. I filled out the divorce form and had Daniel complete his part. The completed divorce form was witnessed by the lawyer and promptly submitted. We left the office and celebrated at a nearby restaurant, and I was now divorced from Daniel. I received a significant amount of compensation and child support in a lump sum. I named my son Landon. It seems his parents had advanced the money. Daniel was completely cut off from the family. He was left to slowly repay his debts. His affair partner was his colleague. They were dismissed for violating company rules by engaging in an affair during work hours. Left by his affair partner and struggling to find a new job, Daniel was now working part-time at a gas station. I live with Landon now. He's still small, so I've taken leave from work to focus on raising him. For now, the compensation money seems enough to live on. Landon is adorable, and as I took photos and videos of him, Luke edited them and uploaded them to a video site, which surprisingly became popular. Thanks to its popularity, we even started earning money from these videos. The income was substantial, so I decided to save it for Landon's future. And I received a lot of help in raising Landon. Not just from Sophia but also from my colleagues at the part-time job. Especially the older ladies, who would shop for me and deliver groceries to my house. The person who often delivered them was the store manager. He was also divorced and, as it turned out, the ladies at work were trying to set us up. When Landon turned 1 year old, the store manager proposed to me. I always liked his humble yet hard-working attitude and how he treated everyone equally. We had many chances to talk when he delivered groceries, and my fondness for him quickly turned into affection. I happily accepted his proposal. Landon had grown attached to him too, and I trusted him to care for my son. We're not rushing into marriage and are currently in a preparation period. Recently, Landon started calling him manager or dad. It seems I've managed to grasp happiness once again. This time, I'm determined not to let it slip away. I made this decision while watching Landon's peaceful sleeping face,